Brain activity at lucid dreamings and meditations. In a coma, a man keeps realizing himself through simply sparitivные forms. At your last responding, we spoke about that we perceive formal images through simply sparitivные forms while dreaming. There are some clarifications about meditations, visualizations, and simply sparitivные forms. Can we say that when entering the meditation, we begin to unpack these formal images also through simply sparitivные forms? The matter is that at meditative state, we become involved to the most extent to activity of vivaxi. There, we are tied to the focus dynamics of the certain configuration to the least extent, and to the most extent to information generally. That information is structured with the countless multitude of factor axes. The axes are used simultaneously by a huge amount of our personal interpretations, including simply sparitivные forms. Yes, through the meditation by means of factor axes, which are being used at the present moment, we communicate more comfortably with our simply sparitivные forms, more than we do in the regular aware state. The same concerns dreaming. By means of ventromedial cortex, we enter the dreaming. This is the specific meditative state. It can be conditionally matched this way, but it gives us the opportunity for access to various factor axes, which aren't available for us in our aware state. In the aware state, we operate only with what we can implement in reality, in the given type of existence, in conditions of PVK. While dreaming, we identify ourselves with the information which we optionally use in our activities in PVK. Thus, we enter partially the focus dynamics of simply sparitivные forms, the part of them which can be clear to us more or less, which corresponds more or less to the subjective ODS, which we are always bound to. Besides, the information might appear from different development scenarios, from our other conditions, not necessarily of our mixtumni physical forms. The incomprehensible part of our dreaming is some part of its performance, taken out of context of a simply sparitivная form's focus dynamics. We can't interpret that part anyhow. We are lack of details, puzzle pieces to create the general depiction, the general impression of something. However, it happens sometimes that we use factor axes of those simply sparitivные forms, which are duvulertna, which is consecutively, balanced with our mixtumные forms, with our focus dynamics. In other words, densities, in terms of which simply sparitivные forms are performed, even by means of the third dominanta, differ not so much from the terms of our existence. Simply sparitivные forms are bound to inertia as well as us, and so forth. In these cases, there are very clear dreams, very clear images, which are actually impossible in this reality. It is impossible to be performed. Are they like dreams with extra capabilities, with flights and clear impressions from them? Yes. When we were thinking about dreams, I had a question. When does awareness appear? Does anything be that the dream turns to the lucid dream, and such skills might be directed consciously? What does it mean? Do we cut into that focus dynamics? Dreaming is based on activity of ventromedial cortex. Awareness appears when ventrolateral cortex is active enough. When the activity of neuronal creators gets engaged into this dreaming. Therefore, you can manipulate with your dream and realize yourself on the position of your more ampliative, qualitative personalities, including simplисперентивные variants. In the dynamics which you watch at, where you are present or in which you feel yourself. Where is our focus at that moment? Do we model anything in ODS? It all is realizational niches of our creativity spheres, from NVK. Niches might be tied to the definite types of PVKs. The PVK type, where we realize ourselves, is far from the only type of PVK, which structures our subterranean ODSs with the experience of focus dynamics. Immediately, there are the realizations, which are executed concurrently in other PVK types, are included. In particular, it is about the PVKs, which are structured with our simplисперентивные forms. You don't understand yet what a diversity of simplисперентивные forms does exist. You mix them into the holistic one. That's why you don't and won't understand much. Can we say it this way? When we unpack anything through simplисперентивные forms, we operate with more complex combinations, 3 dominant combinations. Yes, we do this with more complex ones, but it doesn't mean that they are more ampliative, qualitative. Since they might be more qualitative just in relation to another synthesis scheme, but not more ampliative. Yes, they might be more ampliative as well as depliative. Can we summarize? Our not physical feelings, our impressions, our experience, it all corresponds as if to feelings from simplисперентивные forms? Are they tied to our physical sense organs? Yes, we can say that there is dome part of focus dynamics of some simplисперентивные forms. This is a part of their focus dynamics, not because we don't possess mechanisms of implementation of all the gamut of emotions and psychic states, which can be manifested by means the mechanism of perception systems of simplисперентивные forms, due to the presence of the third dominanta. The latter changes everything radically. Can we say that people who have difficulties in visualizations and meditations have the broken connection with these forms? No. That means simply that ventromedial cortex, or needed parts of ventrolateral cortex, are developed not enough. These parts of cortex should be developed by training imagination, abstract thinking, various abstract manipulations with mind forms. In-depth examination of Iissiidiology brings automatically to guaranteed developing these brain parts, exactly in depth, not superficial.